Generic greetings and welcome to MudRunner, a Spintires game, or Spintires MudRunner, whichever term you prefer, because honestly I think both names are interchangeable. I've seen them used as such anyway. So this is a game, a driving game, where you have to get a truck through a very heavily rutted and muddy field or track, and you'll get stuck and you have to winch out and you have to carry resources from one point to another. It's an off-road driving experience with big trucks. It's a game I've played for about 4 and a bit hours of, and I have played the original as well for about 14 or 15 hours, so certainly familiar with the mechanics of it and how it plays. So I thought I'd show you a little bit of this thing, and you can decide whether it's something for yourself or not. I've got a beverage here as well. Today's beverage is coffee, black, no sugar. Let's go to single player, and I'm using a Steam controller for this, but other generic controlling devices are available. Mouse and keyboard works just fine. I've tried it with a 360 pad, and also a friend has a Logitech wheel, pedals, and shifter, which also works completely fine apparently. So you know, a lot of control schemes and devices, so they're all functional. So we're going to go on the bog map, and we can switch it to hardcore mode if we really wanted to, which is just a lot harder. But I'm going to start a new map on the casual one. Actually, one of the bigger problems with the game is that the save game feature is a little bit iffy. Like, you can only have one going at the same time, and in multiplayer sometimes it's problematic jumping into games because they have a different it says they have like a different map preset, and there's some compatibility there, and if you start a multiplayer game with someone else, and that'll overwrite the save game, and you know what, it could be better. I've played about 4 and a bit hours of this thing, and the majority of that is in multiplayer, and that has been one of my main issues with it. But anyway, let's just go through the basics of the game. So you have to get a truck, in this case, this thing here, which is called a, what is it called? It is a B131. That's what the truck is at the moment, I think. Oh no, are we not in the A469? We might be. Anyway, so we're in this truck, and we have an objective, and the objective in this case is to deliver 8 loads of points to each lumber mill, and we've got a lumber mill here, and if we look around, we've got watch points that we need to go to so we can see along the map, but we haven't got there yet, obviously. Garages, we've got log kiosks, we've got fuel stations, we've got different vehicles to unlock when you get there. But in reality, we just need to unlock probably that garage and then this log station, then take stuff back to there. That's probably the way to do it. So I think what we'll try and do is get a garage unlocked by bringing so many points over to that garage and then go back and forward. Yeah, we'll see where it goes. Right, so this is our vehicle, and we can load different things on it. So you've got things like fuel systems and semi-trailers and garage cart, and I've accidentally attached that. Let me just unattach that. And obviously, the more you add, the heavier the thing will get. Now, to unlock the garage up north, we need to have 4 garage points in total. And the only way to get 4 is to carry a semi-trailer. But I don't think we'll be able to do that. I think we'll end up running out of fuel. But let's just try it and see what happens. So a semi-trailer does require a hitch. So we'll go down to a trailer hitch. And then we will put on the garage trailer, which, is it garage trailer? Garage semi-trailer, which essentially is just a cargo container on the back of a massive truck. We've got a fireproof exhaust, we've got spare wheel. The spare wheel is used, I believe it gives you repair points. Yes, it does. So you can get damaged if you crash into things or strain certain things. If you are using a manual box, manual shifting, then you can either find it or grind it, and then eventually you can damage the gearbox and such, and then you have to repair your vehicle. So that's pretty cool as well. But you know, it just gives you repair points, so it's just generic units for that. So we're going to carry, do you want to carry a spare wheel? But the thing is, carrying a spare wheel is just going to add more weight, and the problem is fuel. As you can see from the bottom there, it says fuel 0L out of like dash minutes. So that's how much fuel we will use going through this. But you know what, I'm going to sort of cheat a bit. I'm going to accept this, and we'll start the engine, right? So this is our vehicle, and I'm going to take the parking brake off, hang on, parking brake, and just pull forward a little bit. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump into a slightly different vehicle, the one next to it, in fact. So we'll hold Y, and then we're in that. Because what I want to do is I want to transfer some fuel, and so I want a fuel system. So we'll say, oh, we need a fireproof exhaust, and we'll have a fuel system, and then we will start this up, and there we go. Now the question is, this is fuel capacity. Does it start with fuel in? Has the game already seen what I'm going to do? So I'm going to drive closer, and then we will get advanced mode on. So we'll say advanced mode. Oh my good grief, that's a big system. I want to go to advanced mode, please. Can I not go to advanced mode? Yes. Fuel system 0, and I want to say, can I fill up the truck? Ah, fuel system's empty. Damn it, the game's already figured it out. So I would have to actually fuel this up. That's a shame. So I might have to come back to this truck later on Anyway, let's just go back into the truck that I was in, which is... That's the wrong one. Oh, that's the... this is the little Jeep type thing. We often use these to... we often use these... I mean, I should really turn the engine off. So I want to say stop engine, yeah. There we go. We often use these to plough ahead. If you scout ahead, then it's something you can... it's pretty good because you can scout ahead with a little one and then find the good route, and then you send the big trucks through, which is something we often do or have done in multiplayer. So anyway, we're in this truck. We're going to disengage the parking brake. What I like is that if I go to mouse and keyboard, which I can do now, it changes all the controls. So, you know, it's happily, you know, using mouse and keyboard. I'm pressing WASD, it functions. As soon as you pick the controller up, you press a couple of buttons, and then what will happen is immediately it'll change the control scheme, so you can now see the buttons for the controller. I do like that. Anyway, so we're going to plow ahead. And we'll take a left and probably get stuck about 30 seconds in, because that's what the game is like. The whole point in the game is that you have to go places and you'll get stuck along the way. Now obviously this is a massive, massive cargo container. This is actually the biggest trailer I've ever used in the game thus far, so we'll have to see how it goes. And the camera is iffy at times. I must confess it's a little bit dodgy. I would like just an overhead view, which you can do. You can, you know, you do that. Like say I'm using a Steam controller, so you've got this... you know, you've got this, I don't know what you call it, like haptic pad thing, and it's quite useful for getting the camera right, but I find it a little bit more difficult on an analog stick. But you can also go inside as well, which is like a new feature of MudRunner, which is fairly cool. You can change the gears manually. Currently we're in gear 5, but we can actually say, look, let's change it into first gear, reverse, things like that. Now, as I said, a friend has a Logitech wheel. And that's with the shifter and the pedals and everything. It's got force feedback, and they played about 3 hours of this game with me in multiplayer, because there was a couple of us playing multiplayer, and it worked completely fine. So that's good as well. But obviously changing manually is a bit of a pain and stuff, and you have to keep the revs up, but it's a much better experience by all accounts. But it's not for me. I just prefer controller. You can see I'm stuck now. I'm already stuck. So how we're going to get out of that? Well, we're currently on all-wheel drive. I'm just going to lock the diffs, because what's happening there is that we've got this wheel stuck. See, there's a bit of loggage there. We've got one wheel stuck, and one of the other side is spinning. The way diff works is that essentially, because when you're going around corners and such, one wheel will be turning a little bit more than the other. You'll have a lot of tyre wear if you don't have a differential. It allows the wheels to turn at a different rate. But it means if one gets stuck, then the other one's just going to spin a thing around, so you don't want that. So you lock the diffs and then both turn at the same rate, and as you can tell, this is just not going to go well. Going through here is it's just not going to go well. We are going to get stuck. I'm probably going to detach the trailer or get another truck, because quite honestly, I don't think we're going to make it in this. We're using so much fuel. Let me just turn off all-wheel drive as much as I can, because I really do need to save the fuel. Keep the diff lock. You can see turning on all-wheel drive, it makes a massive, massive, massive difference. Currently using only 1 litre, or 3 litres on average now at the moment. I'm trying to drive on the hard stuff here, but there's some logs ahead. Let's see if I can just go around them and try and dodge the telegraph pole. Oh, that's bad. Oh, the trailer started to dictate direction of travel, which is never good. Let me put all-wheel drive on. Yeah, look at that. 7 litres a minute now, which is not good. Oh, there's the rocks. Obviously, the whole point in the game is that you've got this terrain deformation, so the terrain deforms as you... Oh, good grief, I should really look where I'm going. The terrain deforms as you drive, and that's the sort of main feature of the game, really. So you're going through terrain that can deform under your own wheels and such, so that's what it is like. So we've made it quite far, although I believe this is going to cause me a little bit of a issue. See if I can take a hard turn here, and let me go inside so we get a better view. There we go. Steer that back up. Job done, and it's also a horn. And let's try a bit of mud. So the water physics has been improved since the first one, and you can see you're now getting, like, the truck gets wet, the tyres get wet, it washes some of the mud off, and also you can get stuck. In fact, the best experience I've had with the game so far is a friend getting stuck in a bog right up north, and they then ran out of fuel. That's why they got stuck, actually. They used too much fuel and they got stuck in it. They were trying to get to the fuel station, in fact. Oh, there's no way we're getting through here without all-wheel drive, surely. Surely. No! Power through! Get in, it works. Okay, that's a big rock. That is a very big rock. Anyway, yes, as I was saying, so they got stuck, and me and another friend, because we were playing 3-player multiplayer, we spent 2 hours... an hour and a half, 2 hours, something like that, getting this guy unstuck by going in there, winching him out, going back, getting fuel, getting repair kits, doing the lot, and that was the game. That was great fun. We were absolutely We were laughing constantly, we were getting stuck, it didn't matter. Well, that's what the game is about. And honestly, if you can play this game multiplayer, then I would highly recommend you do. Highly recommend you do, because I think it is a much better experience than the single player. Not to say that the single player is bad, it's just the camaraderie you have with friends is just, it's going to be much better than just driving a truck single player back and forward. It's more like work at the moment, whereas, oh my good grief, this trailer is really heavy. Yeah, so I would highly recommend, if you can, then you play it multiplayer. I've sort of stuck it on a rock. No, we're fine, we're cool. So we're probably only about maybe a fifth of the way to our destination. What I'll do is I'll get further up this slope, and then we will stop. Oh look, you can see the can you see that turning there in the centre? That's the drive shaft spinning. That's pretty nice. If you use the horn, you get like birds popping out. Nice little details like that. I like the details like that. And you've got lights as well that you can put on at dark, which is a bit of a shame because in multiplayer the lights from other people's trucks don't show, and the terrain doesn't form either, and that was my biggest problem with the first game. Actually, my biggest problem with the first game is you couldn't save multiplayer games, which I thought was a massive oversight, which is now you can save the games, although as I mentioned earlier, the save game functionality of this game is iffy, to say the least. It's functional at best, but it could be better. It would be nice if you could have multiple save games, and maybe there's a way to do it, but I haven't found out. For my like I say, preview side of it, I guess the sort of first impressions, it's not exactly par excellence. I'm going to get up here and, oh my good grief, this is really struggling now. It's struggling. It's struggling. There we go. I mean, there's lots of little details in the game. So, like when you're, if you get your, if your exhaust's underwater, all the water will bubble and gargle. And you get like little oil slicks as well and things like that. And it's just, there's so much detail in it like that. And then there's a couple of other things that just sort of, I wouldn't say let it down, but are just a little bit short. Okay, what I'm going to do is, oh, that's quick winch. We do not want quick winch. No, turn off quick winch. Stop. There we go. Right, so, look at the map. That's where we are at the moment. We have to get over there. Oh my good grief. So we have, actually we've travelled a fair bit. I reckon we've travelled a quarter of the way. So we'll just keep on going. And we'll see how far we can get. There is now a quick winch feature, so originally you had to click on the winch, go to advanced mode, go to advanced mode, click on the winch, find your winch destination and then activate that and then winch upward. Now you can just press Y and then, well, Y on the control pad, but whatever control you're using. So you just press the button, so that button there, and then you look around, you say, right, I'm going to attach winch, and then you attach it. So then you can say winch. And it pulls you towards it. There you go. And then you have to go to advanced and say release. But you know, it's completely functional. It works. It's actually much better than before. The crane, the least we talk about the crane the better, because quite honestly it's a nightmare incarnate in machine form. It is something that I have no idea how to control, and it goes all over the place. And this is a very, very big... Oh, no, we're going to get bogged. We're going to get bogged, and we're going to have to winch out. Probably. Yeah. Oh, look at that. See the heat haze from the front? That's quite good. You can only have one winch attachment as well by the look of it, so if you've got 3-player multiplayer and you want to connect like 3 trucks together, it doesn't look like you can do it. At least I tried and it wasn't working correctly. Maybe that was our fault though, and I really want to go here, but this is a very high-sided and indeed top-heavy vehicle, and oh my good grief, it's... I don't like it! Oh god! Oh god, oh god, oh god, go through the bulrushes, we'll be fine. There you go. Oh, look at all that, it's all crushing, that's very nice. And splash, we're in the water. Currently got all-wheel drive on. I don't know, I haven't done the maths on savings. Like, if I'm say... Oh, look at that. Oh, and you get a bit of steam because obviously the sump and other things will be currently in the water. So it's cooling down. That's very nice indeed. This is what the game's about, you see. This is what the game's about. This and getting stuck. Yeah, I haven't done the maths on fuel usage to distance travelled when it comes to all-wheel drive or not. So currently using 7 litres a minute, whereas if I turn it off, I will probably be able to get there without it, but also take me longer. So yeah, I need to do the calculations, and this is going to be bad. There's a couple of points here. I think the engine's spluttering, and I don't know whether that's just because we went through the water it's bad fuel or just Russian. I really don't know. I mean, obviously these vehicles are built to last forever. You can power them on the best fuel available or pig urine, and it'll probably just power straight through, no problem whatsoever anywhere. Which is what you need when you're in the middle of some sort of logging area in the middle of nowhere, and that's all you've got. You want to be able to power it on whatever you find. Probably put coal in, it'll work through. Okay, so this is a watch point, and it's not unlike a lot of the Ubisoft games. You have to climb up it, and then no, you don't. What you do is you get close to it, and then you reveal the map. There you go. So we've got a nice bit revealed. So I could go over there to get the watch point, and I'm not, because quite honestly, it would take me forever to get there, and I am just not. It's just not happening. It's just not. Oh, speaking of not happening, truck ain't happening. It ain't moving. Yeah, the wheels are stuck. Okay, so all-wheel drive, and then we'll power through. Yeah, we're stuck. Okay, so it looks like it's time for a bit of winching. So where's our nearest winch point? Miles away. It's gonna have to be that one. And winch. Okay. Winch and drive. Winch and drive. Winch and drive. Get us out. Get us out. Come on. There we go. There we go. We're on the hard surface now. Excellent. Release and go. Sweet. Yeah, this is, like I say, this is what the game's about. It's about doing that sort of thing where you get stuck and you winch out, and like I say, multiplayer, a much better experience. Just because also, I did this previously. I've never actually completed this map. We got half of the logs to the lumber mill, but to unlock the garage, I didn't have to bring this beast. There's 3 of us, and we just took 2 of the small trailers and then a fuel system, and it was much easier, much easier. Whereas it's just going to take me longer. So yeah, I would recommend you do that always if you can. And I'm going to take a little bit of a detour here, and you know what? I already regret my decision. Yeah, we're stuck on a tree. You can snap those. You can break that, and you know what? I'm not going to go that way, quite frankly. Instead, I'm going to go through. Do I have to go through the block? If I didn't have that trailer, I'd be able to fit through that. But I do have the trailer, so I don't really have a choice, do I? Alright. I'm going to go through the water. And we'll have to put up and shut up. Here we go. Max power. High gear, so we don't spin it. We actually want to spin it. Oh, no. Oh, this is bad. That's gonna go. It's gonna go. Oh no. Right, go. Straighten up. Right. Oh, look at that. See that? What I mentioned earlier about you get like the little oil slick thing? Yeah. Ooh! Good grief! Come on. Fine. Wasn't worried. Piece of base. Right, let's go. No bother. Absolutely no problem whatsoever. This is why we get paid the big rubles, or whatever we're paid in generic units of currency. There we go. I think it was supposed to be. I think it was supposed to be set in that area, rather. And I think it's this way we have to go. I think it is. I said the camera is. It takes some getting used to. I can't say it's bad. It's just different. Sometimes it would be nice. I mean, you can press that button. Like, well, I say that, but I'm pressing the left button on the controller. But you press it twice and it goes from front to back, which is quite useful. But it would be nice to have a one where you could go to the top. You've got a rear camera mode, which is just the rear, which again is quite useful. But it would be nice to have one that goes like right up the top here. Like here, hang on. Up. Spin the thing. There we go. Turn it. There we go. Like that. Obviously, you've got the inside view as well, which is very nice. So in terms of fuel, we're only about halfway there. Well, we haven't even used half because we remember we started with 2/3 of a tank anyway. So actually, we're not doing too bad. I don't think we're doing too bad. So once I get this garage unlocked, which I think I'm gonna try and get to this garage and then call it a day, because you know there's not much I mean, this is the game. You know, there's not much more to really say. There's other maps as well, and they have different objectives and might be more difficult and have different trucks and trailers about to go over. Oh, is that bending, actually? Is that bending? I don't know whether it's perspective or just bend. Oh, it is actually bending. Oh my good grief, how has that not gone over? It's going, it's going. Oh, good grief. Bloody hell's bells. Okay, right. There we go. Just dry steer and get there. Whoa! Bloody hell, that's sharp. Smooth as Egyptian whiskey, and hey, red dwarf truck again. Let's see if I can get up this hill. It's not going to happen. Need a winch. Oh, perfect. Strategically placed tree. Okay, the strain. It's taking the strain up. Yep, that's fine. And oh, you are having a laugh. Insert 10 generic profanity points here. I'm gonna get across a bridge in this. Oh well, never want to shy away from that. Let's do it. Problem is it a four-wheel trailer? Oh god, no, it's not. It's not. It's just a big one. Right. The problem is that getting this trailer over here is going to be hellish. Right. I expect some Top Gear type moments on here. Let me put the brake on. Let me see what we've got. Actually, we're not doing too bad. We're actually lined up quite well. So let's go. Hang on, why did the parking brake go off there? Interesting. That's a quirk, actually. When you're like, if you're messing around with the winch and stuff, sometimes the parking brake just pops off because I think it's the same button for some things. All right, so let's just check this side. Yeah, we're fine. God, the bridge bends. Right, come on, come on. One might argue that power through is the way forward. I'm arguing that caution is required, and we're through. We're through. Okay, that's not too bad. I think it's actually getting... Is it getting dark? Yeah, it's almost 7:45 at night, so it's going to get dark, which is good because I wanted to show you that as well. That's the park and brake rather than all-wheel drive. There we go. So, which way do we want to go, actually? Oh, we're almost at the garage, which is good. If it goes dark and then we get the garage, I've shown you pretty much everything I wanted to. So, yeah, you get different weathers. Like you get where it comes foggy. It has night and day cycle, things like that. You've got different vehicles, obviously different attachments and such, which you will have to utilise in order to do the different objectives. Obviously mods as well. So it's fairly full-featured. It just depends on whether you care about driving along and getting stuck and winching. I think the game is great for that. I think I do really enjoy it. Single player, not so much. I tolerate it single player. Like, it's actually more fun commentating on it and going through it with yourself rather than just sitting, you know, on your own eating box from the cereal in your pants with a beverage, doing that. I mean, you know, fine if that's your thing, but I prefer much more communal experience with friends online and you know, getting stuck and all of that sort of thing. Because and also you can just do the missions faster as well. So you might want to give that a go. If you own the original Spintires, by the way, this is half price. I believe it's, or I don't know if it's half price now. Is it half price? I think if you're on the original, at least when I purchased this, if you purchase this and you own the original, I think it was 50% off. So I can understand that, because this is just the first game with a little bit of extra stuff on top. Let's not kid ourselves. It is exactly like the first one. Obviously, there's slightly better graphics. You've got improvements here and there across the board, really. There's still a couple of issues, like I said, with save games and that. But you know what? It is just like the first one. So if you like the first one, you'll like this. If you didn't like the first one, you probably haven't made it to this point in the video. So you know. So in terms of fuel usage, we've only used maybe what, a quarter of a tank. No, maybe a third of a tank getting here, because we started with 2/3. So that's fine. Obviously, it's getting all dark now. But once we get to this point, the garage will be unlocked. So, stop. And there we go. Garage unlocked. So we now can put everyone on this one. So we can go for fuel system. We can go for garage trailer. So for example, I can have... can this not have it? I don't think this can have a... No, I don't think it can. This can't have a crane on it. This can't have a crane. See, to put on the logs... To put the logs on vehicles, the big ones anyway, you need a crane. That's also something that I wouldn't say is a bit dodgy. I can't honestly say that it's a bit dodgy, but when I was playing with other people, it was difficult getting the logs onto their trailers because of the way it spawns them. Like, if they spawn them, only they can see them and use them, whereas if you spawn them, it's a bit different, and then you have to, like, give permission over to them. It's just... It's a little bit more problematic than it needs to be. I've automatically refueled my truck, as you can see. It's now all dark, which means we can put our lights on, which obviously looks great. That looks very, very nice indeed. As I said, though, in multiplayer, sadly, they don't see that. Like, you know, friends don't see, or you don't see friends and other people's lights, which I would like to see. But, alas. But, overall, I think it's a good experience. I think it takes the first one, which I thought was very good, and builds on it, and takes a lot of the quirks out of it, adds more features, mod support, better saves, especially saved in multiplayer, looks slightly better, more vehicles. Yeah, it's just a nice little addition. I do think it's a nice one. A couple of problems here and there, which I have mentioned, but overall, yeah, I think it's good. I do think it's good. Obviously niche. I mean, if you're if you have no love for driving games, then maybe I don't think you'll like this. But to be fair, I don't play driving games at all. They're just not my thing, but I like this. I do like it. Also, I'm just going to unlock this, by the way, just because I can. Also, if you are going to play it single player, then I'm not saying that it isn't worth it, because obviously, you know, it really depends on your tastes, you know, how you think you're going to play it. But this is single player. I prefer like much better multiplayer, as I've said several times. I think that should be a factor in whether you get it or not, even just with another person. Just the just for the humor, just for, you know, the amount of times me and friends have been just jokingly calling one another for getting stuck and having to winch them out of a bog, and then the truck overturning and respawning, and it's just good fun as well. And it shouldn't be. I think it's built to be. I don't know if it's built to be a serious game, but you know, my game. I paid for it. I can do what I want. Either way, I've shown you a little bit of the game. Like I say, I quite like it. But I can understand it's not for all taste. Links in the description so you can check it out yourself if you do so desire. Hope you have enjoyed the video. Thank you very much for watching. Take care, and generic partings.